Back in 2012, a woman on a coach trip to Iceland is reported missing. A major mountain search and operation proceeds to take place, and a lot of the tourists around the local area also help out. After hours and hours of searching, the expedition is finally called off at 3 a.m. after it emerges that the woman had been on the coach the entire time. She'd even been part of the search party. She had changed clothes and she just didn't recognize the description they put out. Puts a whole new spin on self-discovery, doesn't it? She was literally searching for herself. When I was given the opportunity to speak here today, I went back and forth in my mind on what I wanted to say. I kept asking myself over and over, who do you want to speak to? What message do you want to send them? And the answer came back to me several times, but for one reason or another, I kept pushing it away until my inner child screamed so loud, I could no longer ignore it. I pictured myself talking to a young girl. This girl, only about 6 or 7 years of age, is lying in a bath completely still. For hours, she lies there, flattened, with her tummy pulled in. She's waiting for the wind to change direction. Whenever she would pull faces, her grandmother would tell her to be careful because if the wind changed, she might get stuck like that forever. Using the same logic, she is hoping that her tummy will remain flat, if only the wind would change. This young girl is me. And at this moment, the girl does not know what lies ahead of her. She is unaware of the bias that she will face, ignorance to the depths that her sadness will reach, and she has not yet learned to feel embarrassed in her work. But this is what you will teach her. You will teach her that to be okay with her body, her mind, her person, her imperfections is unattractive, even undeserved. Because she made sure to point out, not just once, but every single time when she was making you uncomfortable. She will be shamed into acting like everybody else. Shamed into being polite. Shamed into losing her light, her difference, her joy for such a long period of her life that I am still battling the after effects now. Shame will teach her to fit in and to alter her behavior. Shame will teach her to cut her wrists and to throw up her food. Shame will teach her to let others walk before her and to hide from her failures. It will gift her with the inability to connect to others. Shame and a predisposition for depression will create a hotbed for self-doubt. And her search for validation will never be soothed unless the drugs are strong enough to wash away the madness from her vision. Her entire life, she will be told that she is reckless with her heart. Her entire life, she will be told to calm down, to be quiet, to hold back, which I have to be honest, the way that internalizes within her is not healthy. Because what you are really doing is showing her that she should, at the very least, acknowledge that she is aware of her lack of conformity and flaws. You will make her feel shame. From such an early age, we are told how to express ourselves. We are told right from wrong. We are told how to behave. And we are graded on how well we fit that mold. We are placed in a little assembly line and programmed with the same basic program. And then, disabled and stunted by a lack of sense of self, you send us out into the world. And blindly we form an identity through the things we spend the most time doing, pulling little chunks of personalities from each person we encounter and spinning a life story from the frayed edges of our career choice. But I don't believe that self-doubt comes from within. I believe that self-doubt is learned. That voice in your head, the one telling you that you can't do it, that you are not good enough, that is not you. That voice is a collection of all those in your life that have told you, out of concern, out of fear, out of spite, or even ignorance, that you are not enough. I don't believe that our natural default is not love. I believe that our insecurities are preyed on to such a point that we have no other option but to retreat. And why? Well, it's taken me about 30 years to figure it out, and of course, the answer is slightly disappointing. The hunger for control has eaten us out of house and home. Comfort has become a default. It is easier to control, to predict, and to measure success if they can make us all play the same game. Our ability to achieve is so often defined by metrics that we never agreed on. I was taught to measure my success, my worth, and my value from society, from school, from the masses, from the corporations, and even the famous. I was taught that I needed to adapt to be accepted. I was the artist always trying to pass a math test. I was the patient always trying to perform surgery. And because of this, I would always fail. I would always feel stupid. And I would always be inadequate. The game was always fixed. But you forgot. You forgot that even the blind can learn to see through the sound, and they do not like what they are being told. If there are too many honest people without a feeling of purpose, and too few that believe they really matter, that delicate social contract, bonding us all to each other and to the stable, it swiftly disintegrates. Simply put, keep moving the goalposts, and they'll be taken from you completely. I'm taking back those goalposts. For her, for me, for the future. I am releasing your hold on all that power by simply holding myself wide open. And I'm slowly learning to be defiant with my own values and what it means to have an achievement. It's a never-ending process. It flies in the face of what we have been conditioned to feel, and it challenges the perceptions to the gatekeepers of our dreams. Above all, it requires a certain amount of strength to allow yourself to be authentic. And to be authentic is to make yourself vulnerable, open to rejection from those that don't approve and perhaps never will. And as someone who suffers from an extreme need to be validated from others, upholding the power of authenticity continues to test me every day as I have learned that old habits never truly die. But vulnerability is not knowing success or failure. It is understanding the necessity of both. It is the conviction that comes after uncertainty. It's the love that comes after heartbreak. It's hope when everything seems to be falling apart. It's exposing yourself when you feel unsafe. It's being all in. Stepping out into entrepreneurship and working within the mental health space has made me seek out challenges and goals that I would have never set for myself. It made me confront the future head on, but most of all, it made me realize that I had a future in the first place. That I deserved to be here on this earth, in this city, on this stage, in front of you. The lines become blurred between what we are building and who we are. It's the same reason why I have found entrepreneurship the most interesting and beneficial self-discovery journey. The catalyst to the insight that I have and the insight that I still must gain. I have learned that being proud of your accomplishments is not the same as arrogance. And I have discovered the purest of intentions from other human beings, but I have been blindsided by the behavior of others. I have realized that trying and failing is not a mirror image of who you are as a person. And I have experienced the freedom of sharing my hardships with those who have understand and who can also offer help and advice. Remember, failures in life are what make you an interesting person. Failures in business are what lead you to a better understanding of what is needed to be successful in the next venture. Allowing yourself to be open and vulnerable, it paradoxically makes you more confident and liked by others. Listen, I am a passionate and intense person by nature. Attaching emotions to things that don't call for emotions is what I do. I worry about what my dog thinks of me, trying desperately to find the deeper meaning as to why he won't come to bed with me on some idle weekday night. But the solution is not just simply to become comfortable with what you potentially lack. The solution lies in what most of us try and avoid our entire lives. The solution lies in vulnerability. And it is an all-immersive experience. One that you cannot achieve by half-hearted commitment. And I've had to train myself to stop allowing my mind to fall prey to my own existential crises. I cannot keep allowing myself to fall prey to the fear of not living my purpose. And let me tell you, it can be quite liberating to accept that most of the time, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. And there is a huge chance that I never will. But what I can do is find a way to be okay with that, even proud of that. Proud that I am who I am right now on this stage in this moment. Each morning, the shame must be shed to make way for the process. And that process is simply to allow myself to truly and authentically live without any expectation. The process is the power of reflection. It's learning to understand where we went wrong and how we can empower that experience into strength. To the young girl in the bath, remember that your humility makes you strong, but even your humility must be balanced with a sense of confidence. The misery of your depression, your anxiety, your fear, it also provides you with the greatest insight you will ever achieve. Your sharp and painful awareness to your flaws will keep you grounded and steady. Your familiarity with failure will give you growth. And your sensitivity to injustice will allow you to stand up when others cannot. I will cry for you. I will carry the weight of your disappointment, and I will hold you to the light. I see you. I hear you. And you are just where you need to be. You are me. Thank you.